What up? It's your boy Melly on air, and we are back with another reaction. Today we got a concern. McCoy agrees with Maresca that the USA may be the wrong place for the 2026 World Cup by Talk Sport. Alright, so there has been some talks about next year's World Cup, and I have some thoughts too that I want to share after we finish reacting to this video. I do have some thoughts and I do have some concerns also, to be honest with y'all. And I'll talk about them at the end of this video right here. So let's watch this video. Let's see what they talk about. I don't know who McCoy is. He seems like he's a podcaster or something like that, talking about football. We'll see. We'll see what he has to say. So hey, let's not waste no more time. Let's get into it. Come on.
The Club World Cup was in the news again over the weekend, not for the right reasons, really. Over 1 million empty seats so far since the start of the tournament.
Okay, hold on.
The Club World Cup was in the news again over the weekend, not for the right reasons, really. Over 1 million empty seats so far since the start of the tournament, and the extreme weather conditions just playing havoc with the tournament. Chelsea kicking off their last 16 tie against Benfica at 9 in the evening on Saturday. The game finished at 1 o'clock on Sunday morning after another long weather delay.
Yeah, so that's one thing that has been going on. The fans, not a lot of fans in these games, and he's talking about the FIFA Club World Cup games. This video is being recorded on a Monday, July 7th. All right, so we're now at the semifinal stages. The first semifinal game will be tomorrow, Chelsea versus Fluminense. I'm pulling for my Blues. You know, I'm a Chelsea fan, so hopefully it win. However, with that being said, I don't think the fans really showed out for this competition like that. I think they showed out a little bit more in the knockout stages, the playoff stages, but it looked rough. It looked really rough in the group stage. Like nobody, I don't know. I seen a lot of empty stadiums, man. Like not even halfway full. Like it was that bad. And the weather, oh my god. Let's not get started with the weather, man. Um, I have my opinions. I think players, like y'all are professional players, man. Y'all play soccer almost. Y'all play football every day of your life. There's no reason to be complaining like that, man. And man, I get it, man. It's in the USA, man. The weather, it can be unbearable. Like it be so hot. I live in Texas. Like, bro, I think in Texas it's way more hot than Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? So, and I hear a lot about the heat in Phoenix, but I've never been to Phoenix. So, but from my personal experience living in Texas, it's unbearable in the summertime. It really is. It really is, and I can understand, man. Like it really is hot. It really is hot. It really is. But I feel like y'all professional players, man. Come on, y'all gotta get used to any, like y'all play any kind of weather condition, man. Some of y'all play in snow. Y'all play in snow, man. I just feel like that's not a good enough excuse. However, I do think that the fans, the attendance in these stadiums have been very poor, very very poor for this tournament, and that's not a good sign coming 2026 World Cup.
Blues boss Enzo Maresca was fuming.
I think for me personally, it's not football. It's already 7, 8, 9 games that they suspended here. I think it's a joke, to be honest. It's not football. It's not for us. You cannot be inside because you don't know what you have to say. It's completely, for me, it's completely something new. But I struggle to understand. I can understand that for security reason you have to suspend the game. But if you suspend the 7, 8 games, that means that probably is not the right place to do this competition.
03717.
All right, now the suspension of weather series, that's very concerning, man. That is very concerning coming to the World Cup. I understand what Maresca is saying there, like, bro, you killed the momentum of the game by all these suspensions and stuff like that. And I understand the weather, man. I don't know, like I'm hearing that some of the games were getting like suspended because there has been lightning going on very close to where the players are playing at. Therefore, that's why the games are getting suspended. But bro, if there's gonna be weather issues coming this World Cup and the games are gonna have to get suspended, I don't know, man. I see this like because of the weather, which honestly a lot of games in Europe have been suspended because of weather, and that makes total sense. But bro, nobody can control the weather. You know, nobody can control the weather. And I understand there could be some tornado watches here and there, I guess. But bro, over some lightning, man. I don't know, man. This too. I don't know how many games have been suspended. This competition itself, the Club World Cup. I hear it's been like more than 3 or 4 getting suspended because of weather. But man, that's too much. It kills the momentum of the game, and I don't know what FIFA has to do, but they got to do something about that, man. They really do.
722-3344. Give us a call if you echo Maresca's concerns, have your own fears about the World Cup next summer. TalkSport's Ben Jacobs, who's out of the competition, has described the conditions in America earlier on this morning.
I was in the game in Charlotte, and start to finish for those involved, that was nearly 10 hours if you think about when you get in the stadium first, the game, and then of course all of your reporting afterwards. Now I'm in Orlando, and the key thing is that's a 9 o'clock game, as you referenced. So if there are thunderstorms this evening, we might be all the way through the night. FIFA will see this as a dress rehearsal for the World Cup, and therefore some of it is learnings. And in addition to that, not all of the stadiums that have either had low attendances or weather issues are actually World Cup venues. And the expectation is...
Look at this shit, man. Look at this, bro. The whole top is empty. And I don't want to hear nothing like, oh, but these seats aren't being sold. Look at over here. You got some fans over here, man. Bro, these seats were empty, man.
That fans will come en masse for the beginning of the tournament. FIFA will point not to the empty seats, but the aggregate attendances, and say the average attendance is in and around 40,000.
Y'all agree to that? Attendance being average 40,000? Do y'all agree with that?
Away from the merits or otherwise of the Club World Cup, how concerned would you be about what we found out about conditions, bearing in mind the World Cup is there next year? Same time of the year.
The first thing I'd say is I wouldn't be overly concerned about the empty seats in terms of the World Cup, because I don't think that would happen anything like what we've seen happening in this Premier tournament. However, the weather would certainly, come into the equation of being problematic, Jeff. I mean, anybody that's been to Florida would tell you when it rains there.
Boy. Oh my God, Florida! Oh my God, man. How could I totally forget they're playing in Florida, man? Damn, of course they're playing in Florida, bro. Golly, man. That weather over there is going to be crazy.
Does it rain? It's rain like you've never seen before, effectively. And, thankfully it comes and goes, generally speaking. But, I mean, you're talking as torrential as you'll see anywhere on the planet. The other thing as well is the searing heat.
Sorry about that, yeah. There were neighbors playing some music, you know what I'm saying? But we back.
A problem, I think. I mean, as an ex-player, Jeff, it was actually the one thing I hated more than anything, was playing in extreme heat. Probably the Scotsman in me would far rather play in the extreme cold, which we did on numerous occasions, but the extreme heat I found very, very uncomfortable. So I definitely think, I don't think these are things you can brush under the carpet. I think you're as well confronting them just now. Is there a way around it? I'm not so sure. Do you change the venues? Can you change the venues to such to decrease the chance of extreme weather? You probably could. Could you change the countries? That's another discussion that would probably take place. There are countries that could do it, I wouldn't say in 2 minutes, but at relative short notice. Germany and the UK and England would certainly be one of them. Or two.
Oh, alright, slow down, old man. Slow down. Okay, hold on. Changing countries? Hold on, slow down. I got my complaints too about the World Cup coming up in the US. But bro, it's once in a lifetime type shit. I know this the second time it's coming over here to USA. But bro, for me, this is the first time a World Cup is coming to my country. And I plan on going to 2 games. I plan on going to 2 games this coming to World Cup. And I know they're gonna be expensive, but I want to go because it's once in a lifetime. Hey, slow down, alright? You got too much zip on the chip. No. I'm not saying change countries. No, that would be so unfair. It really would.
I'm rather, I beg your pardon. But I think it's a concern. But I'll be honest with you, Jeff, it's something that I didn't really think about until this kind of tournament started.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, and people said, well, this was a dry run for the World Cup in some respects. Maresca went up and said, look, if you suspend 6 or 7 games, that means this is not the right place for the competition. Well, if it's not the right place for the Club World Cup, it can't be the right place for the World Cup either.
Well, they'll point back and say they had it in 94 that they had it, you know. But at the same time, I think it makes a fair point, because all of a sudden, if you're getting games postponed, cancelled, delayed, and you end up with a backlog, there's probably ways round it for FIFA in terms of maybe, you know, postponing games and playing them another time. But you got to think about you got to think about the fans. I mean, a lot of them are travelling the world to see this tournament, and they've got it set in stone where they're going and when they go there. So I genuinely think it's something they're going to have to have a serious look at.
And I know people will say, well, they're not all going to be the same venues, but you know, we both love our golf.
Yeah.
How many times have we been watching golf from the States, and that hooter goes,
Correct.
which means there is a thunderstorm, an electric storm approaching, and everybody's got to go out and search for some sort of sanctuary.
And there's no way around it, because that's what you've got to do. I mean, you can't take any chances with that weather, as you know. I mean, it is properly severe when it comes in. So I'm not sure what we can do. Angelo Maresca's well entitled to his views there, and I find it very, very difficult to argue with him.
I do worry. It's a smaller point as well. Of course, some of the stadiums are air conditioned, but in some of the others, if they're going to be played in temperatures, you know, of 100 degrees and such like, football's going to be played at walking pace.
Of course it is.
Which is a shame.
I mean, you're right mentioning, but yeah, absolutely. Well, it's not played. It's not true. You know what I mean? Straight away, it's not a true game, because you want players to play, you know, in comfortable environment where they can play at the peak of professional abilities. That goes without saying. And if it's uncomfortable to sit and watch it, just think how uncomfortable it is to go and play in it. There's no way that you will be able to perform anything like to the peak of your ability if the weather conditions are seriously uncomfortable.
Mark from Lancaster said they held the World Cup in 1994. What's the problem? And in fairness, that is a very fair point.
I said that.
Yeah.
Talk Sport Breakfast.
All right. We're gonna leave it there. Man, very interesting video, man. Now, y'all heard the complaints from these two guys, these two podcasters, what they thought about the overall about all the concern that's going on playing in the U.S. Now, our video ended. I did say I was gonna have my opinions, my thoughts, my concerns also for this upcoming World Cup, and here we go. All right, let's start with the first thing. Let's start with the weather, the heat. Okay, as I just said it earlier in the video, like in the U.S., bro. I feel like every year it gets hot. I don't know if it's a Texas thing, or if it's anywhere, every other state in the United States, but from my experience living in Texas, it just feels every year it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and that is a problem. That is a problem. The fact it is so hot, bro. It is so hot. It's really. I'm not an outside, like I'm more of a homebody, but in the summertime, bro, I'm a big homebody, man, because I don't want to be outside, and I understand the argument here that, you know, and that is true. Imagine feeling like in the stadium as a fan, just sitting uncomfortable because of the heat. Imagine playing in that heat. And I get it, and I understand that. I get it. Like, players are not used to it, man. I really understand. Well, can we say how it is? European players are not used to that. I think, you know, South American and Central American countries are more used to that. You know what I mean? Than European players. Let's call it how it is. I feel like it's gonna be more of an issue for European players, because obviously they're not used to the heat like that. They're more used to a little bit less heat, more colder weather, rain, snow here and there. They're not really used to the heat like this. But I can understand what they're coming from. But at the same time, y'all, come on, man. Y'all are professional players, working on conditioning, working on stamina, working on, you know what I mean, on basically on your cardio and stuff like that. Like, y'all do that every training. Y'all train to be able to last 90 minutes, potentially 120 minutes. You know what I mean? But I understand the concerns there. I do understand a potential heat stroke could happen, and nobody wants that to happen. All right, so I think that the weather condition thing is not that much of a. It is a concerning thing, but I feel like I don't think players should complain about that, and I'm mostly hear complaints about players from Europe. That's what I hear. All right. The delays in suspension and the suspensions of games, yes, that is a problem. That is really a problem, man. It will kill the momentum of the games. I feel like FIFA needs to do something about that. Whether it be more dome games and less outdoor games, like more like inside of a dome game and less of the no roof games. You know what? If y'all understand what I mean, I think they need to think about that, man. They really need to think about putting more games inside of a dome. AT&T Stadium, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Vegas Stadium, the Energy Stadium in Houston. More games of that. The SoFi Stadium in California, in LA. I feel like they gotta put more games inside of a dome and less games out in a stadium with no roof. Cause bro, bro, that's gonna become an issue. That's really gonna become an issue. And I think what they need to think about is, I hate this because I kind of want every state to have a game, man. But Florida, man, that will become an issue. Weather in Florida, man, is crazy. It's crazy, man. And I can see some weather issues happening over there in Florida, man. Places like that I feel like FIFA should really think about removing some games, if not removing all the games from Florida and put it in different states. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry, but they gotta do something about this. They really gotta do something about the suspending games, the pause of games. You know what I mean, bro? Like, fans are spend their hard-earned money. I'm pretty sure fans don't want to spend 5 hours in the stadium just waiting for the game to renew, for the game to start again. Like, bro, that's something that they gotta fix, man. They really gotta fix it. Another thing, the condition of the pitches. Now, this wasn't really talked about much in this video, but man, there are some concerns about the conditions in the pitches they're gonna be playing on, man. Y'all gotta remember, some of these games are gonna be played in football stadiums. They are football stadiums, like American football stadiums. They're not football like soccer football stadiums. They're American football stadiums, and it's very different. It is very different. The final is gonna be in the Jets and the New York Giants stadium. It's gonna be over there, and I understand they have bigger venues. The attendance could be higher and all that, but bro, that will become an issue also, man. I feel like it's just gonna look. I don't know. It's not gonna look pleasing, if it makes sense. Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like there could be some injuries going on with these stadiums. They're not soccer stadiums. They're American football stadiums, man. I don't know, man. And I get it. I think the soccer stadiums that are over here in the U.S. are pretty small. Like, for example, the FC Dallas Stadium, that shit probably holds 18,000 to 20,000 people. Bro, FIFA are all about making money. Do you think they're going to go ahead and make a game in a 18,000 attendance stadium? No, they're going to get the big stadiums, and I understand that. I understand. Get y'all money, FIFA. I know y'all about the money and stuff like that, but that's going to be a concern. I feel like there's going to be a lot of poor play because of these stadiums. God forbid, but like injuries going on and stuff like that. I don't want that to happen, but it could happen. It could happen because some of these stadiums have artificial turf. You know what I mean? They don't have real turf. Like, they don't have real grass. Some of this is artificial turf, and it could really cause injuries. We already see it happening in actual American football. What makes you think it won't happen on? Well, like for soccer players, you know what I mean? So that's the concern I also have when it comes that they didn't brought up, but I do think about it. I don't know. I just hear a lot of players complaining about it, and they're testing it out. Honestly, for this Club World Cup, I think it hasn't been a success. In my opinion, it has not been a success. I've heard a lot of complaining. I heard a lot more complaining than about, about the actual competition itself and how it could benefit and stuff like that. I hear a lot of complaining about it, and it is concerning, man. It is concerning. I don't know how the World Cup was back in 1994 whenever the U.S. hosted the World Cup. Can y'all tell me in the comments, was there complaints about this? Like this, how it is right now? Was there you know what I'm saying, suspending games because of weather issues back in the day? Of how, compared back in the day to how it's been so far? Y'all let me know in the comments, man, because if this is something that happened also back in the day, then, I wonder how long then people had to wait for the games to start back again, you know what I mean? So, I feel like, and bro, I don't really want to touch topic on this, but the U.S., the situation that's happening right now in the United States of America right now with the whole immigration stuff, could that possibly be an effect also coming to the World Cup? You know what I mean? Because our president right now, man, he's really, really, really serious about that immigration stuff. And I'm not going to touch a lot about that, but could that scare fans away to coming to the U.S. and, come watch their country play? Could that be something? Could we have low attendance this coming World Cup? That could be a concern, man. And, oh my God, this is what I've been saying. Why hasn't there been a new stadium built? Why? Fine, don't make a new stadium right here in the U.S. Don't make a new stadium over there in Mexico. Why don't you make a new stadium in Canada? I feel like Canada should be the country that have a new stadium for this World Cup. Bro, Qatar have multiple new stadiums, man. I'm pretty sure Russia had a new stadium. I don't understand why they didn't make a new stadium. You have 3 countries. You telling me you couldn't put one new stadium in one of those countries? I mean, I don't know, man. I just don't like the planning and the reason why this is a big risk is because this is the first World Cup with a new format. With a totally new format. And there's going to be 64 teams. More games going on. Majority of the games are going to happen in the U.S. And man, I hope everything gets solved by then so we can have a good World Cup, a pleasant World Cup, you know what I mean? Because if it goes bad, it could be the last time the U.S. will host a World Cup ever. It really could be. That's how concerning I am about this World Cup coming up. And I really hope that doesn't happen, man. I am excited for the World Cup. I really am. I plan on going to 2 World Cup games, I'm saving up money for it. I will be going to the games, and I'll see what's up, you know what I mean? But I really hope it turns out good, man. I really hope it becomes one of the best World Cups ever, you know what I mean? I think this is the first time that 3 countries will be hosting one World Cup all together. So we'll see how that works out. But man, it's concerning so far. So far, it has been concerning. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next few months. I really am hoping FIFA makes some adjustments, okay, for the better. I hope FIFA listens to the criticism that's going on with this Club World Cup, and hopefully there could be some improvements, okay? We'll just have to wait and see, all right? So I'm going to just leave it like that, okay? Anyways, y'all, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Go ahead and comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you want to see me react to next. Once again, I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'll see you on the next time. See ya!